Well, let's discuss this further with Philip Worman, who's Managing Director of the political risk consulting firm GPW Group. Good morning to you. So,
good morning, Sally.
First of all, give us your thoughts this morning, given what's been going on in the last 24 hours. We've got Ukraine now calling on a meeting with Russia in the next 48 hours. We've got Olaf Scholz in Kiev today. Your thoughts on what may happen or not in the next few days?
I'm not very optimistic about the diplomatic approaches. We've already seen President Macron of France come back pretty much empty-handed from that famous meeting with Putin on the very long table. I don't hold out much for the rest of what's called the Normandy Group, which is France, Germany, Ukraine and Russia, and its diplomatic efforts. I just don't think that Russia puts enough weight on what the Germans can achieve. They want to talk to the US. They see the US as the primary diplomatic channel for any resolution of this conflict.
But in terms of Germany's position, of course, it has yet to allow the use of Nord Stream 2, the pipeline that brings gas from Russia direct to Germany, sort of bypassing Ukraine. I mean, is that a big tool within this diplomatic conversation in terms of a threat of a possible economic sanction?
Yes, it's one of the tools that the US and the European Union have. I mean, Nord Stream 2 is pretty much complete. The last screws just need tightening. What Germany could do is effectively delay the certification of Nord Stream 2 and stop it operating. And if Russia puts a foot into Ukraine or has any kind of even a limited military incursion, undoubtedly the US will put a huge amount of pressure on Germany and the EU to stop that pipeline working. And that will be part of a huge package of sanctions.
And also we've had Ukraine's ambassador to the United Kingdom saying to us here at the BBC that Ukraine might have to give up its ambition of joining NATO. If Ukraine were to take that path, would that be key, do you think, to Russia backing off?
I mean, it's one of the red lines for Russia. I mean, Russia certainly is opposed to any kind of enlargement of NATO. But on the other hand, NATO is not prepared to say we're not taking any more members. So that's the key point of contention between Russia, the EU and the US and NATO. So NATO is quite willing to expand. Russia does not want any more countries that it sees under its own orbit joining NATO. That's the real red line for Russia.
Philip Worman, thank you so much for joining us so early as well here in the UK with your analysis of the situation. And of course, it's a story we're